I think that's it. But if you are rating and going, that's perfectly fine, friends. But consider hitting that follow button. Right now, we're finishing this up. Then tomorrow, we're going to be... I stream pretty much every night, by the way. Monday, we're going to be back to more Metaphor Refantazio, as we have been doing. Tuesday, I'm going to be playing just a silly little sim game. Wednesday, I'm not going to stream. But then Thursday, we're going to start up the new game from the It Takes Two people. My wife and I are going to be playing Split Fiction, which I'm very excited about. I think that's going to be really cool. And then Friday, back to more Metaphor Refantazio. Here we go. How you doing? Cadet finds you in a dark side thoroughfare, a glass-roofed canyon of struts and screens. Still recovering? Hey, I get it. Cadet smiles. But look where we are! She gestures around the broad street, with its layers of tech and dirt. Heart of the belt. You really look at the glass-roofed street. Its walls are built from scaffold and shipping containers, hull plates and Solheim hab units. People glide across the open space to units and shops on either side, and everywhere screens flicker and glare, without sense and reason. You can feel the heat, the power that flows through this place, collected by the vast solar cells that form the city's foundations. Heart is the right word. This place is a center of circulation, toned muscle tough, and running to a beat. You turn to Cadet and can see it in her eyes. She loves being here. I've been thinking, she glances away, of how good it would feel to run my air bike down this street. She smiles. City has to need couriers, right? It's a good idea. I know. She flexes her shoulders back. But there's some unfinished business weighing me down. She meets your eye. Hexport. You think of the drive tucked away in the scatter yards, the one that contains the data stream from a drone mid-vivisection, the one that might have caused the loss of an entire station. We need to go finish what we started. Cadet looks deadly serious. Find out who's responsible and make it known. Clear my name. Is Hexport still irradiated? I would think so. She sighs. But it'll be fading. We can get in and out safely from what I know. And we better try soon because the safer it gets, the more scavengers will come to pick the bones. We want there to be something left to tell the story. I know a lot just went down. Cadet puts a hand on her hip. But these clowns could still be operating. Hell, they could be trying the same thing again on the station. We need to go find what they did. She takes a deep breath. I'll be waiting. And maybe once it's all done, she turns away. Let you take the first air bike ride through this place. She raises a hand and then is gone. That's all right, Robin. Have yourself a good night. And I think a future birthday? Is that right? Well, we'll celebrate it tomorrow during tomorrow's stream. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on in here. So we've got cleaning house, but its members and enforcers are still on dark side. Oh no! We got more to do! Let's see if we can help clean up a little bit here, wherever we can. Oh my god, there's so much going on here. Junie has gone straight to the Hab Pep core and has asked not to be disturbed. What is she doing down there? There's so much going on, guys. Oh god. All of the friends that we've collected along the way, of course, have got their own little stories. Because of course they would. Why wouldn't they? We worked so hard to make friends. Of course they'd join. Of course they do. Let's refill our fuel stores. God, we had some pretty miserable rolls there. I'm just trying to be careful out here. Let's finish up helping with the Utsubo safe house. I think we can do some work here. Yeah, so if you're unfamiliar with how this game works, friends, there are various little jobs that you can do out there that take dice in order to complete. They can be something as simple as, like, scavenging for food or helping a friend, like, fix up their house. Or it can be trying to scale the side of a spaceship so you can work your way inside. However that thing is, there are three types of risk involved. It can either be safe, risky, or danger. And all that means is that if you have a negative outcome when you eventually give it a try, the more dangerous it is, the more severe the penalty may be. And the higher die that you use, the better chance you have of a successful outcome. So in this case, for example, I'm going to put this 3 over on the risky instead of the danger, because I don't like where 3 is going to be. But I can handle a risky negative outcome. By having a 3 here, but I have an extra point in my stat for Intuit, it's been bumped up to a 4, and these are the outcomes that are possible for this game, or for this roll. I can either have a 25% chance of a positive outcome, 50% chance of neutral, and a 25% chance of a negative. So let's toss that in here. I had a neutral outcome, and it gave me a point towards the overall objective of cleaning house. I do the same thing with this 2, because 1 and 2 have the same odds, 3 and 4 have the same odds. 5 is a 50-50 chance of neutral to positive, and 6 is a critical success. And I got a good 3 there, so that was actually a pretty good hit. You find blocks of shimmer concealed behind a false wall. Utsubo is trading this on the open market. And with that, I'm out of dice for the most part. I don't want to deal with that one. That one's not going to do me any good. So I'm going to kick out this cycle. And wake up a new day, a little bit hungrier, but ready to greet the new day. I'm going to feed 1 set of supplies to my stray. I have a cat on my ship there. And I'm going to keep digging into... No, that's reboot prep. Okay, yeah, we got 6 days left. 6 cycles left on that, I guess. All right, see you, Bissell. Yeah, it might be a lot of VOD viewers for this. Apologies. I just don't think this is worth holding on to the end. I'll put a 5 here, put that into a 6. And just like that, I got a positive outcome, which put 2 more pips toward that. I'm going to do a 4 into a 5. Another positive outcome. And then I'll put 3 here. Save that 6 for a rainy day. That was the negative outcome. That wasn't so good. But I found a new place. Interesting. Do I have a plan for what game would replace this? On Tuesday, I do have a plan. It's going to be a little one-off stream. But Thursday, once again, is going to be Split Fiction coming up. Because it's coming out on Thursday, and so we'll hit it right as it comes out. You uncover a concealed stack of slates in a hidden compartment. What is on these? You watch as the last stack of crates is guided up and out of the cavernous Utsubo safe house. You doubt it'll be long before this space is filled. Darkside will not tolerate a vacuum for long. This city takes every opportunity. Its inhabitants build in every crack and crevice. As Utsubo spaces are cleared, they will be occupied. The gang's legacy will be buried under factories, kitchens, markets, and housing. But the people will remember the cold and desperate grip they once held onto this place, even if the city does not. Come to gloat? The voice takes you by surprise, and you turn to see Orin, floating in the shadows, arms folded. He drifts forward in the pool of yellow light. You overthrew a tyrant. You should be pleased with yourself. His tone is flat, and you're unsure how to read his statement. I am. Orin eyes you carefully. From what I heard, you burnt those pale eyes out of his skull. He smiles a thin smile. I imagine it's quite the sight. You don't recall the moment of Lane's death. In fact, the abstract nature of that moment, almost dreamlike, means you'd almost forgotten. You tense a little as a scream comes back to you, a screech of white noise bathed in white light. Orin is still watching you. He almost would have respected you for actually doing it. Orin inspects his knuckles. If he could have respected a creature like you. What do you want? Orin grins. Just to satisfy my curiosity. I came here to clear out the old disease, just like you. Orin gestures to the space. Utsubo had to go, and I came here to be a part of that process. You can't burn everyone you don't like out of this place, I'm afraid. Orin folds his arms. This is our home, whether you like it or not. I didn't like Lane. It's hard to imagine anyone dead. He saw Darkside for the opportunity it was and woke Utsubo from its slumber. He turned a gang into an administration,
and a city into a machine. He was too erratic for my taste, perhaps, but he held this place, shaped it into something. I see they have no intention of doing the same. So, what'll happen now?
Orin meets your eye.
You've created space that must be filled. Will you take responsibility for that at least?
People to decide.
Oh, will they? I can see you don't know the first thing about Darkseid and his people. The people decided on Tsubo. You changed that. Now you want them to pick something else? The opportunists, all of them. They all choose for their own benefit only. In the end, I should thank you. The city was done with Lane.
Orin gives you a nod.
And I will be honest enough to admit that you did what I didn't. But never forget, you're an outsider here. And Darkseid hates outsiders.
Before you can respond, Orin kicks off and glides up towards the upper levels of the safe house, leaving you alone in the empty space. More Eugen sleeper fix? That's wild. Though you do not put weight to his words, they still sting. Perhaps you think there is something to them. Who are you to decide the future of a city when your own future is falling apart each cycle? Is your decline a spiral that can trap others in its wake, or a necessary transition, the crisis before a new shape emerges? You hug your arms close to your side, suddenly cold in the stripped bare safe house, and ascend once more. Wow, we got 6 points to spend. This is our character, by the way. Their name is Sleeper for most people, but for us it's Deborah! Just in case you didn't know. Let's put more points into Intuit. There we go. So now we get double points for Intuit or Interface. Nice. All right, I think we got to go take off to get to the scatter yards. Or no, we have a contract to accomplish. I forgot about that. So I have any other work to accomplish around here? You know what? I could use this 6 to go make myself some mushroom supplies. I grow mushrooms on my spaceship. And sometimes they talk to me. And then I eat them. It's a fun game. Let's go on contract. Just in case. I think it might be best to buy one more set of supplies. We've got the cash. It's not like I'm going to lose it. I'd rather just have ourselves fully armed before we jump into a highly irradiated area, just in case. Cadets locked in. Oh, we're missing Bliss. I'll bring Flint. Flint's pretty cool. I can fix some crowd, maybe. As the rig drew closer to Hexport, the crew became silent. Now, staring out at what is left of what was once a thriving station, you feel empty. The full extent of the damage is impossible to ignore. Grim. Seraphin shakes his head. Doesn't feel like we were here that long ago. He sighs. And now, this is what's left. You look at the clouds of scattered debris, the layers of the station torn open to the void. It is a reminder of how close the war and the unseen atrocities of the inner system are to shifting into the belt. I don't like digging around in a place like this. Seraphin turns to you. Let's be quick about it. Agreed, we'll be fast. Seraphin nods. I'm here if you need me. You head to the airlock to suit up and get ready. You ready for this? Cadet catches up with you in the passageway. This place is already giving me the creeps. Ready. Cadet nods. If there are answers to be found, we'll find them.
Keep your eyes on the shadows.
Flint is getting suited up by the airlock.
We can't rule out scavengers and grave robbers, and they won't react well to visitors.
Cadet takes a suit from the locker. Seraphin said the radiation is lower than expected, but still too high for prolonged exposure. The suits should keep most of it off of us, but we can't take long out there. The stress of the suits in the rig? She sighs. We'll be forced to leave in 3 cycles. Cadet grabs the helmet. Not a moment more. You get ready too, your mind filled with memories of Hexport. You hope they'll help you navigate this shattered ruin. But looking at what's left, you doubt it. Wow, we really don't have much time, huh? Okay. Time to dig in. Thank you, Flint, for getting some good rolls, though. Yeah, some pretty good rolls. I did okay. We'll make it work. It just so happens that both of these, for the forensic search, is the stuff I'm good at, so that works out nice. In fact, why don't we take full advantage? I'm gonna push. We're gonna go for the dangerous one, because I know I can get a guaranteed 6. It seems like the station was ripped apart by multiple explosions. How is this possible? Almost there. One more ought to do it. As a general rule, too, for this game, if this is your first time viewing it, friends, danger, you go towards danger things because danger tasks have higher rewards for succeeding them, but greater perils for failing them. So if you have a 6, you might as well go hard, you know? You hear that, Sleeper? Cadet stops among the debris just outside the ruined exchange. The search so far has been thankless, a grim slog through endless debris. You're glad of the break. You stop, floating in the dark, and listen. There's a hissing on the open comm channel. A hissing you've grown used to. Now that you listen to it again, though, you notice something else in the noise. There's something different to it now. A texture, a modulation of tone. Is that? A voice. Cadet cuts in. Someone is speaking. Her eyes look wide through the faceplate of her suit. You listen carefully, and yes, perhaps there is a voice there, though it is quiet and distant. It could be a person speaking, or it could be some residual signal from an automated system, one that is slowly dying in its wasteland. You see Cadet moving around, testing the signal strength from different positions. It's coming through the direction of the docks. Her voice hisses through the comms, layering over the broadcast. I should be doing that, sorry. A survivor? Cadet meets your eyes, both of you hoping this might be true.
It's probably just a comms echo.
Seraphine's voice cuts in through the comms.
We can't go chasing robots, not with so little time left.
I think I said chasing ghosts. I think I said chasing robots, but I meant chasing ghosts.
The raid can't sit out here getting cooked by radiation, and neither can you.
Seraphine's voice distorts and shifts.
You should be able to move to the epicenter, where Factory Row used to be. That's where all this went down.
Cadet looks at you, and you know she wants to chase the signal to the docks. She wants to be there to be someone there, calling out to you. You look over towards the remains of Factory Row. The epicenter, as Seraphine called it, is now a cloud of debris and fragments of bays, a shadow of what it once was. For the first time in a long while, you think of Karsten. You look back at the remains of the docks, a few warning lights and systems still flickering away in the ruins. With not much time left here, you have a choice about where to focus your efforts. I mean, there might be someone in there. There might be. The voice on the broadcast must be a survivor. The signal came from the docks, so the search starts here. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna see if I can find them. Oh, but it's a really bad idea. It's a really bad idea, but I want to find out. We're still on our first day, so at least we got that going for ourselves. We make some pretty good progress here with the double up on these 3s to 5s. Even if we don't get a perfect run here, it will be close. And if Cadet Cadet can't do any of those. Okay. Let's take a look at the other one and see if Cadet can do any of it. Yep. Cadet can navigate debris. Though that 3 hurts. Okay, that was all right. We got some blast analysis done, and we took some stress, but that's okay. Let's do it again. Yeah, there we go. That was really productive. Okay, so those 2-3 rolls worked really well. Let's head back to the ship. End our cycle. We get 3 cycles. 3. We already did 1. Come on, good rolls. There we go. That's pretty good. You feel it at the moment you wake. A flicker at the edge of your perception, a sensation beyond your body. A blinking, a tugging, then numbness as something shuts off within you. The panic is instant, the feeling of something not being right within you spiking your fear. But no pain comes. You feel no further shifts, and as time stretches out, you settle again. You calm yourself. You know immediately that this is what Bliss was referring to. Your frames decline. The reboot should reverse. You flex a little, feel your body, try to ground yourself in it. It will not collapse this cycle, but something has changed. This is how it will be until the reboot. You hope you have long enough to finish what you must. You begin the cycle slowly, holding the pieces of yourself together. You try not to let your thoughts wander to darker things, and fix your eyes on the tasks ahead. The belt drifts past the window, following a flow of its own, expanding, collapsing, shifting in its own way. People say it is drifting away, getting further from Hellion's star. That one day, it will drift out of the system altogether, into interstellar space. You find a strange solace in that. Somehow, knowing that entropy is the way of the universe makes your own decline palatable. At least, for a little longer. You have gained a permanent glitch. A permanent glitch is represented in red on your glitch clock. It will not be expended when rolling a glitch dice. You now have a chance of rolling a glitch dice every cycle. This cannot be fixed. Cool! Great! Love it! Gotta have more of it! There we go. Let's throw a 3 at this and finish this off. That hissing on the open comms channel again. Could the survivor be close?
Urgent.
The broadcast echoes through your comms.
Retrieval required. Conway Network agents, please respond.
You float beside Cadet, the two of you shocked to silence by the sight in front of you. Both of you have traced the ghost signal deep into the docks, all the time wondering if it might be the voice of a survivor. But you had not prepared yourself for this. In the corner of the docks, there's a nest of machines, a gathering of drones and motorized sleds, crane systems and docking clamps. A nest for the drone mind. Oh boy, that's a look. So, somebody on a little bit of background on this. Somebody on this station tried to hack and kind of glean the files off of a war drone. You know, some ship that's out there intended only to kill. Apparently, best as we can tell, that drone was given the ability to blow up the whole station if anybody tried to hack into it. Not only did it apparently do that, it's apparently still alive.
Stop, please.
The voice shimmers with distortion, relayed on the same carrier signal as the ghost broadcast.
We wish to be recovered.
You don't know the mechanics of what you're looking at, but you understand it. The drone mind fled here. But how? You exchange a look with Cadet, and she seems unsure of what to do. You switch your comms channel back to the broadcast signal. It won't hurt you.
Recovery requested.
The drone's mind voice trembles with glitches.
Confirm Conway extraction's role and identity.
You wonder what this mind knows. Is it just an interface designed to speak between humans and drones with the recognizable cadence of intelligent speech? Or is it a thinking machine? You hear a click as Cadet switches to a private channel.
This thing is a weapon.
Her voice is flat, unemotional.
We should be careful what we say here.
Confirm Conway extraction's role and identify.
The drone mind intones.
Please.
Lie. You make up a destination that sounds plausible. Cadet turns to you and raises an eyebrow.
Confirming with Central Control.
The Nest shudders.
Confirmation impossible. Connection severed. Retrying.
Look, Cadet hisses through the private channel.
It's hardwired to the station.
You look where she is nodding and see a single thick power cable snaking from an industrial wall outlet. The Nest is clustered around the other end, huddling close to the fading power supply of the station, like it's the dying embers of a fire.
Urgent.
The broadcast starts again.
Retrieval required. Conway Network agents, please respond.
Cadet moves forward a little.
I order you to deliver a report on your current status. This is a direct report from Conway Control.
She turns back to you and shrugs. It's worth a shot.
Confirmation impossible. Connection severed.
The Nest fades, then flickers back to life.
Temporary bypass activated. Cognitive function, minimal. Power supply, minimal. Hardware, suboptimal configuration. No drone units connected. I am alone.
The shift between communication registers between formal and human is unsettling.
Code center, compromised. Data extracted by third party. Self-destruct, disabled. Purge protocol, disabled.
Parts of the Nest fall away, the power draining faster as Drone Mind attempts to draw more from the station.
Please,
The Drone Mind asks nonsensically.
please stop.
Did you destroy...
Did you destroy the station?
Cadet moves close now, bearing down on the Nest. It is little more than a pile of broken machines cowering in a corner as the power fades.
Self-destruct attempted. Process failed. Hardware purge attempted. Process failed. Self-preservation protocol activated. Propagated through the station network. Station failed. Central failure imminent. Please stop.
The machine in the Nest begins to go dark.
Please stop. Please stop.
Cadet turns back to face you.
It didn't do this.
She sighs.
It tried, though. Tried to destroy itself and take the station with it.
So wasn't it? She turns back to the failing mind, hiding in machines it was not built to inhabit.
It escaped into the network and ended up here.
It isn't responsible.
Responsible enough, that's enough.
Cadet reaches
Is over and rips the power cable from the wall, leaving it floating. The Nest shuts off, the broadcast channel going silent. The bay goes dark. What was left of the Drone Mind, whatever protocol or data escaped into these machines and their network, is gone now. There's no hardware left to hold it.
Come on.
Cadet glides out of the room, leaving you among the dead machines. Woof. So it wasn't... We that was our leading theory, is that thing exploded. But I guess it didn't. So now we got to figure out what actually did then. Good. Of course. Unfortunately, Flint is not built for either of these skills, I guess. So we got to make do with what we got. Just have to ensure we get positive outcomes for the rest of the way, because since we're hitting the risky one instead of the guaranteed win, or the dangerous one, because my engage skill is dead. It's in exchange for not having in exchange for like having good stats everywhere else, you have to give up one stat for whatever class you choose, and mine was the engage stat. I'm not good at that. The debris tells the story of Hexport's demise. You only need to know how to listen. You float in the pieces of what was once Factory Row. There's a little way to see what these pieces once were, scattered and scorched as they are. You cannot assemble them back into that place in your mind. The longer you've searched here, the more that this broken place has weakened your memory of when it was whole. But you've managed to put something together here, part of the story of Hexport's final moments. That story is told in the blast marks on the exterior plates, the patterns of debris, the materials and makeup of the station's remains. Beyond that, one other thing is remarkable. There aren't any bodies. It seems that Hexport had some warning. The lack of docked ships, the lack of mass casualties, though the explosion surely killed many. It all suggests a station that had time to react, at least to evacuate in part. And then there's the blast, an explosion that the evidence points to as coming from the outside of the station. It is hard to tell as so much secondary damage was caused by debris and shrapnel, but the pattern is there if you look. Something catches your eye and you look over to see Cadet arriving alongside you, studying the same debris as you. Yeah, I've got a good stat here. 100% chance of success. Yeah, it wasn't with no warning, right? I mean, we knew some people got warning because one of our crew members was on Hexport when everything went down. She and her brother managed to escape, so yeah, they knew something. The pieces come together. A moment of warning and evacuation, then an external attack. The first causes the second. You know the drone mine was here, being scraped for code and data, screaming for it to stop. And then something happened, something that its captors could not control. There was a crisis, rapid, panicked, and Hexport was killed for their crimes. It was a cover-up, wasn't it? Cadet's been watching you think through the evidence, and you see the flash of recognition in her eyes. I forgot, we're still in suits.
They wanted to hide what happened here, what they were hiding. It had to be Senate-Stat. Who else would sacrifice the station and remain hidden?
You can see the anger in her eyes. This is why Hexport was destroyed. The drone mine got out, entered the network. Who knows what it might have done? Could it have taken apart the station itself, overloading every system, opening every airlock? Was its drive towards self-destruction that strong? Someone didn't want to find out. Someone didn't wait to find out. Its escape sealed the station's fate. In the end, there's only one conclusion. Those who brought the drone mine to Hexport, who dug into its code and systems while it was alive, they ended the station. The logic is cruel and cold, the kind that the vacuum of the Hellion systems allows. You find no comfort in knowing the truth. But I do find comfort in getting that done before we irradiated ourselves to death. So I'm getting the heck out of here. Junie knocks gently on the frame of the berth's doorway.
Sleeper, can I show you something?
There's an excitement in her eyes that makes it impossible to say no. Junie talks most of the way down into the HabPep facility, which is no short journey. She explains the scale of the data hidden within the station's mainframe, but also the issues with extracting it. Junie here, friends, best way to describe her would be a data archaeologist, looking into old data that she can find.
When the HabPep was first expanded, when it became Darkside after the collapse, no one gave it much thought to preserving the existing network architecture.
She guides you through the substructure, picking a route through the maze of shuttered passages.
They parasited their tech directly into the existing system, so now thousands of cycles later, the two networks are totally enmeshed, dependent on each other.
Junie takes a series of sudden turns and you realize this is a very familiar route to her now. Excuse me.
Messing with the Solheim networks means that messing with the systems that keep the city going.
She leads you down a long corridor, one you recognize as leading directly to the core. I'll let her explain.
This meshing is not a good thing.
She shakes her head.
Makes Darkside brittle, fragile even. This place is on more of an ice edge than anyone would believe.
You look around. Certainly the underside you are now traveling through looks cycles away from collapse.
But all the data I've been extracting, that I've been archiving,
Junie continues.
It could help us here. It could help us clean up the HabPep systems, and we could turn this place into an archive so that others could come to learn more about the ruins that Solheim left us.
What's in all this data?
Anything you can imagine. Everything from corporate message records to blueprints and maps.
She shakes her head.
But it's too much for me to process or understand. But thanks to our visit to the bunker, I have a plan and something that'll help me.
You arrive at the doors to mainframe, and Junie suddenly stops.
I spoke to Bliss. They told me...
She pauses.
I'm sorry, Sleeper. I know you have a lot to deal with right now.
Don't worry. Junie smiles weakly.
I'll do my best.
Junie hits a button and the doors hiss open. You both glide into the mainframe, its columns studded with the blinking lights of active traffic.
I got the idea from you, actually. Well, from you and Overseer.
Junie glides over to the mainframe. You look at the mainframe and you see now that it is surrounded by new terminals and wiring. Some kind of external access network Junie has set up.
I had to beg, borrow, and steal to get this going, but now we have safe access to the network. It's low risk.
She moves over to one of the terminals.
It's not quite finished, though.
You recall the last time you were here. Lane. Overseer. The spear of white light and then nothing. You wonder where Overseer is now, if they're anywhere at all. You remember how it felt being dissolved into the network. The vertiginous possibility of life without a body. Like vertigo, I guess? Yeah. Something flickers through the lights. A shimmer of movement like a fish beneath water.
Sleeper?
Junie breaks your train of thought.
Are you listening? I was saying I need more data to finish preparing.
She shrugs.
I know. You've already extracted so much. But there's so often so little of it that's usable among the bit rot and corruption.
Where from?
Hellion Gate is the best place to get data. Apart from here, it's the best pre-collapse facility in the belt. And its hostile conditions means a lot of it's untouched. If it's too much before your reboot, I get it. I just wanted to do something with everything we managed to grab from the bunker and the wrecks. We pulled it from the dark. Let's expose it to the light.
Junie turns back to face you.
Well, this is what I wanted to show you.
She looks away. It's very impressive.
You'll be when it's finished.
She smiles.
Thank you.
Junie turns back to the terminal, and before long, she's fully engrossed. Imagine she barely even remembers you were here. You leave Junie to her preparations and start your ascent to the streets of Darkside. Thoughts of Overseer flickering in the back of your mind. There's not much to celebrate on your return from the remains of Hexport, but you're glad to be back here all the same. There's something surprising in that. Darkside is a haven, not a prison. The slowly occurring idea of this overgrown city is a home. As you have seen in Hexport, stability cannot be taken for granted, not anywhere in the belt. But Darkside has a solidity in life that feels like it might endure. Cadet catches up with you.
We need to talk.
She looks around.
But not here. Come, I have something I want to show you.
Cadet leads you deep into the heart of Darkside, through dark, quiet corridors and bustling streets, on paths you didn't know existed. As you glide after her, the station seems to grow in your mind. Its possibility is multiplied by the routes that pass through it.
Just through here.
Cadet leads you across a covered bridge, the view on either side looking down caverns of lit units. This close to the center of Darkside, the warm is warm. I'm falling apart here, friends. The air is warm and the passages are quiet.
Here.
Cadet smiles.
This is the place.
She points at a low and wide entrance with storage racks inside. Next door is a smaller unit with a window looking out to the passage. Seems like a workshop, perhaps abandoned or never finished. It is dusty and dark.
I've been keeping an eye on it. It's abandoned.
She glides inside and slaps a wall pad. Lights flicker on, illuminating a constellation of dust. She floats in the glittering specks. Looks promising? Cadet laughs.
Oh, I know it's a wreck, but it's a start. When we've been on Darkside, I've been coming out here. I just happened across it, but I knew when I found it. I want to start again, Sleeper.
She knocks on a metal wall.
And this is where I'm going to make that start. What we saw in Hexport, what's left of it, just confirmed it to me. We can't stop Senatstad, as much as we can't stop the war.
She runs a finger across the storage racks.
We have what? The drive? Our suspicions? Senatstad is vast. How could we pin this to them even if we wanted to?
She looks over at the workshop.
I don't want to think about it anymore. I want to start again. I want to work, to ride my bike and courier packages till I fall into my bed at the end of the day with nothing left.
Cadet picks up an old corroded tool from the racks.
I want to build something here, in spite of everything. In spite of the fact that they could take it all away. Because that's the point. To go on living without conceding. To go on building or trying to build something where we can find it. That's what I brought you here to understand. So you know why I'm letting this all go.
I understand.
You could do the same, you know.
Cadet frowns.
We don't have to beat ourselves senseless against the truth. My old life is gone. Clearing my name on the far spindle doesn't matter. The spindle jacks will have forgotten me. But this place?
Cadet smiles.
It doesn't know me at all. You know where the drive is, what it contains. You know what happened at Hexport.
Cadet's eyes shine in the workshop lights.
Take it from me. It's yours now. I can't carry this anymore.
I will. She nods.
Thank you. My travels are over. If you need to find me, I will be here.
Cadet smiles.
Thank you for all you've done. I hope you can understand why I need to do this.
She turns and disappears deeper into the workshop. You cross the bridge again, dark side glowing on all sides. You think of the drive buried deep in some compartment within the Scatteryard's hub, filled with data worth destroying a station over. It's yours now. But you wonder, as you cross back through the city, your mind racing. How can all this end well? Well, that's just it, ain't it? We don't know. We don't know how this all can end well. Oh, boy, this just keeps going, friends. It just keeps going. Cadet's got another drive going. Deal with the drive back in Scatteryards. Revisit Olivera and get get some Solheim data. Boy, this just keeps going. Well, we gotta see this to the end at this point. We just gotta keep going. Even if I run out of voice by the end. 6 Solheim data? Ugh. Alright. It's gonna be some work. It's been 40 minutes, I know. Really pushing along here. But we got places to be. Let's keep moving. Let's make sure we refuel, though. No sense in living off that. There we go. Let's just keep pushing. Let's get it done. Let's see here. We're currently in Dark Side. Which is like here, right? Can't make Olivera there anyway, so let's hit the Scatteryards first. I guess Hellion Gate first, then we'll cut over to the Scatteryards. Then swing over towards Olivera, and then finish back in Darkside. Because we need to go grab some Solheim data from this machine here. We need 6 of them. That's 1. That's 2. That went poorly, but that's okay. That was kind of by design. Because I can eat some of my own supplies in my ship here. Actually, better yet, if I go in here and I burn one of these dice, I'll either get a whole new supply or I'll heal myself up. Wow, that actually went very poorly for me. That's okay. Mushroom. We're just gonna fly through this. This just we just gotta cook. Bliss has been in touch, Sleeper. Seraphin turns and looks over his shoulder as soon as you enter the cockpit. He's sitting in the pilot's seat running diagnostics on the console. They say they're ready for the reboot. Did they say anything else? You know, Bliss. Seraphin rolls his eyes a little. They worry. He turns fully in his seat. How you feeling? Not bad. No, the reboot needs to happen. Seraphin speaks slowly, carefully. And I know the risks. I can see all that. But I also know what happened last time. Pauses. I wanted you to forget again. To lose all this. He gestures around the cockpit. Everything we've done. He'll still have it all. I'll be alone with it. Seraphin looks down. It's not what I want. Not trying to scare you, I just needed to say that if the reboot doesn't go how we want, I'll miss you. I'll miss all this. I will too. If you remember. Seraphin laughs shakily at his own joke. Seraphin turns back to his pilot console. Whenever you're ready, we can go to Flicker Row, to Bliss. Seraphin pokes at the console in front of him. You have things you want to wrap up first, I understand. I would too. So that's the ticket, by the way. Here. Seraphin tosses an object across the cockpit, and you catch it out of the air. Take that with you when you go to Bliss. It's good luck. You open your hand and see a familiar metal disc. A coin, its engraving rubbed away to little more than vague shapes and signs. Tella gave it to me. Now it's yours. Can't run from this forever, all right? He glances over his shoulder and smiles. Been done running anyway. Turns back to the console and returns to the diagnostics. You leave the cockpit and run a hand along the ribbed metal wall of the passage outside. Is it really possible that you could forget all this? All these layers of memory, this experience? Perhaps you can put it off a little longer. Take another tour around the belt, tie up loose ends. Perhaps he had enough of that. Why try to escape the inevitable? You try to recall how it felt when you first awoke after Lane interrupted the first reboot. Even that is fading into a hazy memory, told by an unreliable narrator. Maybe this is just the next step then. One of thousands that put you here, and the first of the thousands more that will take you onward. You come out of your thoughts, still unsure, still aware that the decision of when to take that step ultimately rests with you. Wow, we really had a bad run here, though. Not gonna lie, I was really hoping for better rolls than that. Look at all those ones and twos. That is miserable. They probably, yeah, unfortunately just went straight to the end. I got rid of that glitch die, at least. Let's do a reroll. I cannot get data with that with that glitchy of dice. It's just, there's not anything that's going to happen from that. 3s and 4s. All right. Yeah, I can make that work, actually. I forgot I got 2 points in into it, or interface, so I should be able to make this work. 4. 5. So close. I need 6 Solheim data. That's why I'm stuck here for another round. Just for what it's worth. I'm going to eat some more supplies. We're going to roll this glitch die on the harvest mushrooms. And we gained a supply back. So that worked out well. Those are the kind of dice we were looking for. Let's finish this. Oh, I do actually have Seraphin's coin, by the way. That's super cute. All right, we have 6 Seraphin, 6 Solheim data core things. Here, let's just burn the rest of our... No, I could go get gas. Let's go get some gas. Wish we had 6 Seraphins. All right, all filled up on gas. I don't need more resources. We've kind of... I mean, this is the end game. This is post game, really, when when it comes down to it, right? All right, Wellspring is still not wanting to hang out with us. We don't need to go back to Far Spindle. The irradiated zone's still irradiated, huh? All right. We do the long trip all the way to the Hollow. Zoom! Yeah, I highly, if you've enjoyed this at all, I highly recommend playing the first game. The first game really sets this up really well. It does a lot of cool stuff. And has DLC that I haven't even played yet. There's more to this, friends, that we haven't even touched. Which is very cool. Just make a little pit stop here at the Hollow before we get moving along. Trying to get to Oliveira. You can manage to get to Wellspring, but you'll get stuck. Never mind.
Stop!
A shadowed figure meets you in the docking tunnel.
No saboteurs allowed.
Hey, kid. Seraphin glides forward and ruffles the figure's hair. Still playing sheriff?
Nah, just bored.
Xander grins.
What are you two doing here?
He glides alongside you and Seraphin as you drift through the tunnel.
None of your business.
Seraphin pushes past.
No offense, kid, but you aren't actually the sheriff around here.
You pass through familiar doors and back into Oliveira. A surprisingly pleasant feeling. Oddly like coming home.
You came!
Cadence is there in the docking concourse waiting to greet you.
I'm impressed.
Seraphin's face immediately erupts into an uncontainable smile. Have yourself a good night, Kylie.
Cadence!
He turns to you.
You two remember each other, right? So they perceived the colony.
Caden's deadpan answer seems intended to cover for Seraphin's awkwardness.
Yeah, I remember them.
The four of you descend down through the docking tower together and into Oliveira itself. The colony looks much the same as when you left, though you pick up from Cadence that changes are coming.
Carmen's back with a vengeance since Darkside.
Cadence smiles.
He's all about expanding and improving the colony, which is why I asked you to come, Sarah.
The nickname slips out, and both Cadence and Seraphin clock it and glance at you. Ooh. She's already got a little nickname for him. As you reach the core of the colony, you see the increased activity. There are more colonists than you remember, and they move back and forth with purpose, carrying crates and tools. The chatter less than usual.
We need all the help we can get to sort the place out.
Cadence notices you watching the stream of freight and people. Fanfic included her, oh boy.
Carmen wants to do some kind of event, an anniversary, I think. Honor the founders and all that.
Gonna be a big party.
Xander grins.
Can't wait.
So,
Cadence looks between you and Seraphin.
what do you think? Up for some colony-mandated manual labor?
She grins. Seraphin gives you a sideways glance, observing your response carefully. How could you say no? Where are we going? He'll need all the help he can get. Okay, so I think we're just wherever we're working is going to help them along. Got it. That's where we won't need to be. The refinery shift. Ensure it has its own opportunity to be independent. I know, it's a lot of points. So we're just going to have to cook through. That was good. We're a quarter of the way there. We'll do something a little less intense. Nope. That's okay. It was a bad die anyway. Getting a feel like I'm going to start getting more permanent glitches as time goes on here. Body's starting to wear out on us. Back to the refinery. Yeah. Just keep pounding out those positives. There we go. Neutral is fine. We can handle neutral. Food? They're gonna make me work. The servers this cycle don't seem to like outsiders much. They give you a smaller portion.
Dang it.
Permanent for getting out of read IRL. Fitting way to end the story. There you go. Well, thank everybody for deciding to hang out with us this long. I am surprised that we've held on to as many raiders as we have. Thank you. Thank you for deciding that this is worth your time. I'm gonna burn the glitch die over here again because it's safe. It has a 20% chance of success, so we might as well. You never know. Just keep going. It's a very, very big clock to fill, but we can do it. I believe in us. One more cycle and we'll have it. Cool. Yeah. One more will do it. Another flicker in the dark before waking, and a numbness that follows soon after. You wake slowly and stare out at the flickering stars and the distant rocks of the belt. You let the thoughts of fear or panic wash over you. They pass like soft dust off the belt, disappearing into darkness. You find yourself once more, as you do every morning, as you will continue to do cycle after cycle, until you can't. You wonder what part of you has changed, what system is failing. Your frame is silent, its complaints only felt in ambiguous sensations. The glitches seem random, unpredictable, but also inevitable. They only increase in number until you reboot yourself. You do not know what lies beyond that. At least the glitches are dependably familiar. The reboot is anything but. Yep, there's another point of permanent glitch, by the way. Just keep pumping these bad dice in here. Worst comes to worst, we get a little bit of health. And I think that's worth it. Or a little bit of food in us. There we go. All right, finish off at the hydro refinery and we are set. Olivera's independence is growing thanks to the hard work of the colonists and you. The past cycles in Olivera have been busy enough to take your mind off most things. All the heavy lifting and manual work has become a welcome distraction from the looming specter of the second reboot, and the good mood of the others has been infectious. Seraphin has been almost annoyingly upbeat. His relationship with Cadence, the worst kept secret in the colony. But working alongside them, it's hard to ignore their deep feelings for each other. Xander's been happy because he has something new to rib Cadence about, and Seraphin, with his self-serious manner, is an easy target for pranks and teasing. Xander also hasn't been able to stop talking about the party, which he already seems to have decided will be one of the highlights of his youth. But now, finally, the cycle of the party has arrived. The canteen is done up with hanging light strips, waving gently in the asteroid's microgravity. The strips themselves salvaged from the emergency lighting of wrecked starships. With the work stopped and all the colonists yet to arrive, you find the reboot filling your mind once again, growing like a shadow. Something on your mind there? The voice takes you by surprise. A colonist, just a random colonist. You turn to see a colonist you haven't met before, an older man in some sort of supportive chair. His hair shot through with gray and his face sallow.
I didn't mean to startle you. My apologies.
His pale eyes scan you.
Just seemed like you might need some company.
There's a strange look in his eyes that you can't quite place. He's looking at you like you've met many times before, but you've never seen him before in your life.
Looks beautiful, doesn't it?
He gestures to the canteen with his hanging lights, his chair propelling him forward with little puffs of air.
The young people did such a good job. Warms my heart to see it like this. Never thought this rock could ever be a home.
He looks sideways at you. Have you lived here long?
Oh, since the beginning. Before there was here.
He smiles.
Back when there's just a wreck and a rock. But let's not chat about me. I want to know about you.
He turns his chair a little.
What's eating you? The way you're staring at those light strips is like they're about to leap down and strangle you.
Time's passing too fast.
It'll do that to you, that's for sure. Just run away from you.
He holds up a shaky arm.
Out on some unknown vector. That's just the truth of the world, and so many other truths rest upon it. We have our time, some too much, some too little. But it's ours, and in the end, it's all we have to our name.
The colonist squints at you.
Sorry, I'm not good with reassuring people. I just remembered that.
He smiles.
But I do like chatting.
He looks back at the light strips.
Really lovely, isn't it? Just beautiful.
You look back at the light strips now as the hum of people arriving filters into the canteen. There's something in the air. Anticipation. The sense of a rare moment passing through. Something to hold on to, and then let go. The light strips really are beautiful. When you turn back to the old colonist to agree with him, he is already gone. Hey, Sleeper! Seraphin pushes through the gathering crowd towards you. Got you a drink? He offers a pouch of some amber liquid.
Hey,
Cadence comes up alongside you and hugs you with one arm.
wonder where you were hiding?
She smiles warmly at you with her infectious smile. You think about mentioning the old colonist to her, asking him about him, but Seraphin hushes the two of you. Probably getting on the colony ship last game. Sure, I get you. Carmen's about to start. You follow Seraphin's eyes to the front of the canteen, where, above the heads of the new, quite large crowd of colonists, Carmen floats, surveying the room.
We meet this cycle.
Carmen begins, his voice loud but clipped, formal in a way you haven't heard before.
To first remember those are the founders of the colony, those lost and still with us. I'll never forget the distress call that brought me here, to the wreck of the Pilgrim Seed. I'll never forget the scenes that greeted me. I know some of you were there too.
A rumble of acknowledgement moves through the crowd.
But I also know that many of you weren't, that many of you came here to take refuge from other troubles. I'd like you to be able to remember too.
You glance at Cadence, her eyes fixed with incredible intensity on Carmen. They look wet in the glow of the light strips.
There were thousands of refugees on the Pilgrim Seed, and too many, far too many, were lost. Those from Ember's Step, Ember's Song, Ember's Hearth. Those from the Three Sisters, from Erlin's Eye. Many are not here in Olivera any longer, taking their own paths across the belt and beyond. But we acknowledge them all, remember them all, the lost and found, present and absent, because without them, there would be no colony here. Before the wreck, Olivera was a handful of buried bays, a scrapper hideout, a place for old and tired merchants like me to hide themselves from the universe and forget what they had done. But when the Pilgrim Seed was wrecked, it brought the universe back to Olivera, and I could not hide any longer.
Carmen stares out across the crowd with a hard glare.
We built this canteen from the Pilgrim Seed. We built our homes, our farms, our refinery. We built our independence from their failed hope.
A rustle of discomfort goes through the crowd. Carmen pauses to let this settle.
We should not be ashamed or afraid of this. We will remember this gift. We'll build on it. This cycle and every cycle after. We'll thank them with our actions.
The crowd mutters agreement. Carmen takes a deep breath and straightens up. A weight seems lifted from him, the weight of testimony.
Now, here in this room, with you, I will thank them with my laughter.
A cheer goes up.
I will thank them with my joy, with my celebration.
Another roar of approval.
We'll all thank them as loudly and as chaotically as we can.
The room erupts into cheers and applause. Join in! Come on! You cheer and applaud too. You whoop! And Seraphin laughs nearby. And you feel a pair of hands on your arm, Cadence pulling at you, grinning and crying. And you feel another hand on your other arm, Seraphin dragging you into the crowd. Suddenly, you are in the thick of the crowd, so many bodies in one room, dancing and spinning and shouting. It's like nothing you've ever seen. You notice the rest of the crew in the melee, a flash of familiar face here and there among the massive colonists. You see Xander being thrown up in the air by a group of different kids of different ages, laughing madly as he bounces off the ceiling. And, for the rest of this cycle, you think about nothing else but the joy of those around you, and the joy it instills in you. You wake up in your berth, the same light that always shines on the belt shining incessantly through the window. You're slow to rise, slow to begin this fresh cycle. At some point, Seraphin arrives back onto the rig with no indication of whether he slept or not. You find him in the cockpit, leaning in the pilot's chair, looking out the lights of Olivera and smiling.
Good party.
He chuckles.
Not sure I've seen anything like it.
How's Cadence? Seraphin gives you a look.
She's great. She loves seeing you all let it all go.
He smiles.
I do too.
Seraphin yawns and stretches.
Oh.
He sniffs.
Olivera's all fixed up, colonists are happy, blah, blah, blah. Where to now?
Don't you want to stay?
Here?
Seraphin shrugs.
Still too much a bit of a backwater for my taste.
He grins.
Cadence understands, don't worry.
Seraphin pauses a moment, something passing over him that makes him shiver. I heard from Tala. He looks away. Wellspring is still in transition, but the Union Council's taking over. Kirk got what he wanted. The blockade will come down, but... He sighs. I'm not sure I'm ready to revisit that place yet. He looks at you and smiles. When I come back to Tala, I want to have something to show for myself, you know? I get it. Family. He shrugs. Maybe. Once the reboot is done, once the blockade is down. Maybe we can visit then. Seraphin takes a breath. We'll get there. Some cycle soon. You aren't sure if Seraphin's trying to convince you or himself. He stretches, shaking off his feelings. For now, though, the belt's ours to explore. Oliveira filled their fuel tank, so it really is up to you where we go. He gets up. While you're deciding, I'm gonna go dig up some breakfast. He glides out of the cockpit. You take a moment to look out across the tiny lights of Oliveira, dwarfed by the crater and the wreck that sits at its far end. Not bad. Not bad at all, you think. We helped out with Oliveira. Cool. Let's get out of here. We're now going to fly all the way to the scatter yards. Big old trip. And our fancy little ship. We got 2 more beats to do left, friends. We got to go grab this this Senate stat data. Give the Solheim data to Junie, and then finally we can reboot. The workshop of Cadet's data scraper friend is just as the two of you left it. You remember the cycles you and Cadet spent in here poring over that dark data, the strange fragments of the drone mine's protest seated among the occult code. You find the drive where Cadet told you it would be, in a compartment under the padding of a bunk, lined with thick shielding that makes its contents undetectable. As you pull the drive out, the metal cold on your hands, you have a sudden urge to smash it to pieces. This object which escaped Hexport when so many others didn't. When Senestat, and it was Senestat, you are sure of that now, decided to cover up what they'd done, they first made sure that this drive would get out, that it would pass to the far spindle and then onward. But something went wrong. Some miscommunication or mistake. That's all it was. A tiny slip and it all fell apart. Now the drive is in your hands instead. You turn it over in your hands. You know the drive contains Conway access codes, control codes, and perhaps more besides. Data of great value. Data that would win a war. You also know you're sick thinking about it. Nah, I'm taking it with me, man. You slip the drive into a pocket, close up the workshop. You head back to the rig, and as you do, you turn the drive over in your pocket, unsure what the next step might be. As you glide through the hub, you pass shipfitters and crews, all moving on their own vectors. Feels strange to carry the drive past all these people, all of them totally unaware of the threat it might pose to them, to the station. This guy was in the first game, I remember him. Excuse me. A stranger stops through the passageway with a hand on your shoulder. Can I ask your help for something? Their sudden appearance shakes you out of your thoughts. You quickly take your hand out of your pocket off the drive. You look at the stranger in front of you. He's roughly dressed in a heavy coat, but he's otherwise unremarkable. Not quite? Oh, okay. You could have passed him many times before and not have known. I'm looking for something. He looks over his glasses at you. A little lost drive. Who are you? This matter concerns my client more than me. He leans back a little, his voice calm. So introductions won't be necessary. But the drive belongs to my client, and he would be very happy to see it returned. Suddenly, something catches your eye, a set of dice, like those used to play Star and Stoker. The stranger is playing with them in one hand, turning them end over end in the station's microgravity. So the dice. The stranger looks down at them as if he had forgotten he was holding them. I must admit, I have to play games to pass the time. This guy's not the guy who wants you to like get on that one ship in the first game? I enjoy the chaos of Star and Stoker with its unpredictable shifts. He spins the floating dice. My brother, however, prefers the systematic progression of Tavla. Ah, there we go. With its inevitability. Suppose it runs in our family. He sighs.
But I won't bore you with childhood stories. Please, let's be direct.
He gives you a friendly smile.
My search for the drive brought me to the scatter yards, but from here the trail went cold. That was until you arrived.
He pushes his glasses up his face.
Then the trail lit back up again, just like that.
The stranger moves his hand in his jacket pocket a little, and you see a shape in there, a box-like impression in the fabric.
My client never intended these events, you must understand. One of their other contractors proved to be overzealous in an attempt to conceal their mistakes. The result was the regrettable situation you saw in Hexport. But for all that to be nothing, that would be a waste beyond the original act, piling insult on injury.
The stranger sighs.
There's much to be gained in a system desperate for peace, for the war to be ended. And wars tend to end when one side concedes.
I don't believe you.
The truth does not necessitate your belief in it. Only a few possible futures remain for the belt. My client will facilitate one of the better ones. That is why I'm here. But if you need additional persuasion, I'm authorized to offer you 300 cryo as a reflection of your efforts.
The stranger smiles again, his tone never straying from his businesslike calm.
Now, can you return my client's drive?
The stranger's hand shifts in his jacket pocket. You have a feeling this is not a choice you can deny. I'm gonna give it to him. You take out the drive and place it in his hand. He quickly pockets it, and with the same hand pulls out a block of chits, bound together with tape. Someone tells me I should have destroyed it the first time if I wanted to destroy it. If I didn't want to destroy it the second time, if I wanted to destroy it the second time, I feel like I was gonna get shot right then and there.
Thank you,
the stranger bows his head,
for your cooperation.
He turns and glides away, disappearing down the passage. You slip the chits into a pocket, an unexpected boon. The belt is no place for principles over survival, and you know that well. In the end, a contract is just a contract, and data just data. The stars spin on regardless, and they will not hold judgment over you in the end. You suppress a shiver and hurry back to the rig, doing your best to forget the past, hoping that it will not repeat itself. At least in the end, someone got paid. Yeah, I don't know if that was worth it, but hey, you know what? I like money. All right, one more trip to take, and then we're set. Back to dark side we go. I know, it should have been way more cryo than that, but whatevs. Oh, that's really cute. Okay, that's what's happening with Cadet. Cadet, well, I thought there was going to be another story with Cadet, but instead, Cadet's just now running their courier business, and you can work for her. Aw, that's nice. That's really cute. Didn't have much, so it was a bigger bump. Yeah, no, I've got piles of cash because I hoarded it like I did in the first game, thinking I would need it all the time. But you can be pretty clever and not have to burn money all the time in this. Junie is thankful for the data.
I have everything prepared. Just give me a moment.
You've been waiting for what feels like a long time. Junie insists you can't help, so you find yourself floating in the baking heat of the HabPep mainframe while she taps away at her terminal. As you do, you can't help but shake the feeling of a presence nearby, one that you're coming to understand is some sort of remnant of Overseer. You don't know if Overseer was ever really a person, but now with their many selves combined and dispersed, their consciousness expanding to fill the vast space of HabPep and its networks, they surely aren't even close to human anymore. You think of them as a ghost, but perhaps now they are better understood as something less mournful. As a system, a process, a thing becoming. The entire station is their body. You can't help but wonder how that feels.
And we are ready.
Junie hits a key on her terminal with percussive force.
It'll take a little while, but she'll be online in a few moments.
She looks flushed with excitement. What, this is she?
Weren't you listening last time?
Junie squints at you.
Don't tell me you drifted off.
It's like you might overseer. Junie shakes her head.
And you don't know.
She suddenly looks concerned. A voice screeches out of the terminals. It descends in pitch from a squeal to speaking. Then below the mainframe, a flickering projection appears. First as lines and then as solid light. Oh, the warden's back.
Welcome, visitors.
Warden flickers and warps.
I am the warden. Please provide...
The image jerks and freezes, then blinks out.
Shit.
Junie taps her terminal.
Just need to reconfigure for the HapPep environment.
The warden? Seriously?
What?
Junie doesn't look up for the terminal.
I told you last time we need a way to process and understand all this data. Warden is perfect.
This better not blow up in our faces. There are a lot of people on this station, Junie.
It won't.
Junie glances over her shoulder.
I've taken precautions. She can't hurt us. The technician is right.
The warden's clipped voice echoes through the cavernous mainframe bay.
My protocol is operating under safe mode limitations.
Warden's blind eyes stare out over your head.
Do not be concerned, Officer Dahl. Sorry, I'll fix that.
Why the warden?
Archiving was her role in the bunker. She's ideally suited to this. And she understands Solheim networks better than we ever could.
Junie smiles.
Come on, you have to admit this is pretty cool.
You look at the statuesque figure of Warden, once at the heart of Solheim's intelligence gathering operations across the belt. Could such a tool of corporate oversight ever be used for something good?
Look, watch this.
Junie turns to Warden.
Warden, provide the last known location of every Solheim vessel above Ryger class in the Starward Belt. Immediately, technician.
Warden draws a circle with a pointed finger and it expands, filling with bright specks. At first, hundreds and then thousands. A constellation of sights.
See?
Junie grins.
This is our future, built on the foundation of our past. These tools are ours now.
You look at the arc of sparks, the points of light describing the shape of long-dead corporations' power. Incredible. Junie smiles.
It is. People need to know what this city, this system is built on. Warden can do that, expose that. It'll be up to us to reshape the ruins into something new. I knew when I saw her that I couldn't leave her there alone in the dark. I've been in that dark pit, and I won't condemn another being to it.
Junie looks at the placid Warden.
Human or not, how we treat her is a test of our own values, of the world we project. Data is not a currency. It is not a commodity. It is the immaterial output of a system, a structure, a society.
Junie meets your eye.
This will be a place to uncover that system for ourselves.
She looks around at the chaotic trailing wires and the floating terminals.
Once I've cleared up a bit.
She laughs. You and Junie spend a little longer in the mainframe, sorting cables and offering Warden casual queries. Not all of them return useful information, and Junie begins listing out the changes she will need to make. After a while, you both find yourself tiring, heads aching with all the fresh information you've crammed into them. So you close up the core and descend back through the layers of the facility to Darkseid's surface. As you do, you feel the history of each strata, the layers that make up this place and the belt beyond. Now, more than ever, it feels tangible to you, as if it contains not only the past, but the promise of the future as well. Cool. All right, at this point then, there's only one drive left, which is finish the reboot. We've knocked it all out, friends, and now we're finally done. Obviously not something that I want to be done with, but that's just it. Yeah, Junie's giving her a new purpose. That's what's going on, I think. And the last piece here is Seraphine's coin. You need to be rebooted to have any chance of surviving, but the outcome is unclear. The next step will mean big changes no matter what happens. You wait outside the shop where Bliss is set up and turn Seraphine's coin over in your hands. You're ready. You turn Seraphine's coin over and over in your fingers as you stand in Flicker Row, crowds pushing past on their way to whatever future awaits them. Your fingers glide over the worn metal as you imagine seraphins have, Talas have, in moments of anticipation. Perhaps others, before the coin came to be Talas, have repeated the same ritual, the same nervous routine. But their fingers were human, born, not made. This intrusive thought makes you slip the coin into a pocket quickly, as if it had delivered a shock. You hear a hiss, and the door of the shop slides open, revealing Ankita. You see her eyes scan the crowds almost defensively before she spots you there and nods in your direction.
Hey, Ankita!
Hey, it's me, Deborah!
She looks around for a moment, then approaches you. She looks tired, but her stubborn ferocity bubbles under the surface.
Bliss is waiting for you.
She nods back towards the shop.
Which I guess is why you're hanging around out here. Nervous?
Of course. She looks around at the crowd.
Look, Sleeper, if you want my advice, you have to find a way to keep up with yourself. Change is constant. Sometimes you can get left behind.
Ankita looks away, the signs of Flicker Row reflected in her eyes.
I just remembered. I owe you an explanation. I promised to tell you about why I wanted Utsubo out if we managed it.
She shakes her head.
Guess I'm not very good with promises.
Why did you? Ankita's still staring at the signs.
I grew up here, Sleeper. Did you know that?
She doesn't wait for an answer.
After I came to the belt, after Bliss and I...
She pauses, not wanting to say it.
When I had nothing left, this is where I came. And when I got here, my home was gone.
She grimaces.
Those Utsubo bastards had destroyed it. Strangled the life out of it. I was looking for something to fight for on my own terms. Darkseid became that for me.
She sighs.
That's all you're getting. Promise kept?
Ankita looks over her shoulder.
Look, Bliss wouldn't be happy if they saw me out here chatting to you when you're already late for your appointment.
She smiles to herself.
And I don't need more reasons for Bliss to be unhappy with me.
She grabs you by the shoulders and steers you towards the shop's entrance.
I'll catch you after. Don't you worry.
She pushes you towards the door and then turns away and disappears into the lights of Flicker Row. You take a final moment and then will yourself inside, leaving the glimmering lights and the shifting crowd behind. Bliss is perched at a console. They turn as you enter.
Finally!
They smile weakly.
Making me think you wouldn't show.
Saw Ankita.
Oh, yeah.
Bliss looks away.
We're talking again. She has a lot to do and she needs the backup. I don't think Ankita does very well unless she's busy, so it's for the best.
Bliss shrugs.
I don't think she'll ever change, but people surprise you sometimes.
They smile tentatively. Aw, they're making up.
Anyway.
Bliss sighs.
It's not what we're here for. We need to focus on the reboot. I'm sure Seraphim told you, but everything is ready.
Bliss gestures to two couches with straps, freshly built connectors, and a bundle of wires at one end.
Hope it'll be comfortable for you both.
Where's Flint?
Was just getting some air.
Flint leans in the open doorway, watching you both. Their pale face looks even more drained of color than usual. Flint comes inside the shop and nods to you.
Let's do this.
They take a shaky breath.
I'm ready.
Flint and Bliss go silent. The sound of the crowds outside filters gently into the room, mixing with the whine of the air cycler and the hum of the terminals. There's not much more to say. Bliss looks at you both.
Okay.
They pause.
Let's begin.
Bliss helps you and Flint onto your couches. You settle there and slide your arms and legs under the straps that will keep you in place. The connector, with its thick bundle of wires, waves above your head. It is hard not to feel exposed, lying here on your back, anticipating what is to come. It's even harder when the memory of waking up to this very same ceiling, with its bundles of dangling tech and scratched plating, forces itself into your mind. You've been here before. Last time you woke up to fear and panic, woke to a desperate escape and a shattered mind. A reboot interrupted. The thought sets you trembling. But then, staring up at the same ceiling, the trembling dissipates. After all, you are back here now. That means you survived this crisis, grew from it. You took the hit, and bounced back unbeaten.
All good there?
Bliss's face floats into your vision. All good. Bliss smiles.
How about you, Flint?
You turn your head to see Flint lying beside you, stiff and still. They manage a tight-lipped nod. Looking at Flint staring up at the ceiling like you were a moment ago, you feel a rush of sympathy. After all, they haven't faced this before like you have. They are stepping into a future they cannot see. You have been here before. Now, you're just completing the journey. I'll reach out. You raise an arm, reaching across the gap between the couches, and your hand touches Flint's. They do not look at you, but they grip your fingers in theirs tightly. Flint's fingers feel different to human fingers. The thick vinyl skin, the repair patches, the pressure of the metal skeleton beneath. You know this is what your touch feels like too. And that recognition is like a connection being made. Thank you for the follow, by the way. You close your eyes and feel something flowing between the two of you. A solidarity so embodied that it reverberates within you.
I'm connecting you to the terminal.
Bliss's voice already feels distant, lost in the noise. You feel the cold click of the connector, the sense of flowing data.
I'll be here when you wake up.
In the dark, you feel restless. You shuffle your fingers, adjust your position against the couch. It takes you a moment to notice the sound is gone. The rumble of the crowds, the hum of the machines. The detail unsettles you, and so you search for reassurance. You think of Bliss's words.
I'll be here when you wake up.
You focus on them, on the possibility of waking up, of being somehow renewed. But what would the renewal look like? Your eyes blinking into the lights of Flicker Row. Bliss, Seraphin, and a renewed Flint beside you. But what then? I think we've done enough traveling. I think hanging out on Dark Side for a little bit would be nice. The station, yes, with its thronging thousands. Where else to be but the heart of the Starward Belt as it transforms? You put yourself in the city station, just outside this door perhaps, among the bright signs, or higher, in one of the ramshackle towers that look down on the ceaseless flow of Darkside. The projects, the possibilities make themselves known to you. The neon paths that curl and split the branch across the dark surface. You choose one.
Want to hang out with Cadet?
Yes, the path that flies by, that drags you along with it the moment you reach out and grasp it. A dispatch, a rack of custom bikes. You and Cadet blitzing the passages of Darkside like lightning bolts loosed upon the city. You can feel the air ripping at your clothes already. The thrill of mastery. And Darkside is waiting for this to be built. The couriers the city never knew they needed. At a good price and faster than a network signal. A chance to build something where others might channel their instinct to run and never look back into something productive. An image. Cadet flipping her bike into the rack as you send out a package with a fresh rider. Brave talk and brash laughter. A future. Something small. Something shared. The idea makes you tremble with excitement. Not just to fulfill it, but to see it made here in this city. Then you feel it. The insistent pulling of a thread. The unraveling of your very self. The reboot comes on slow, and I see seeping into your mind. Little pieces of you flake off in the flow, fading with distance. You hear a voice, Bliss's voice, so far away now. You reach for it, stretch your every sense towards its familiar warmth.
I'm starting the reboot.
It is a whisper into the wind, pulled away from you the moment it's spoken.
See you on the other side.
All of a sudden, you wish you could make it stop. The incessant entropy of time. The tumbling of rocks through space, getting further apart every cycle, disappearing into the vacuum ahead. The decay of cells, the degradation of code, the corrosion and rot and rust. You wish in this moment to freeze it all, so you might hang on to it. Preserve the warmth, the light, the softness at the heart of things. This thought grips you, tears into you like fear. You feel the ice creeping in and know that everything will be lost, if not now, then mere moments away. But then you feel it, impossibly. Seraphine's coin, worn smooth by worry, turning in your hand. Time has been pressed into that coin by hands, by fingers. It is a near infinite record of transient touches, each one shaping it in some small way. It is worn and worthless. It is bent and broken. It is beautiful in all of those things. And so you press your thumb against it, your crooked, calloused thumb, again and again, because you are a broken thing, and you have nothing left but that brokenness and the beauty that shines through it. And then, somewhere nearby, a button is pressed, and all at once, one thing ends, and something new begins.
Boy, that was fantastic, man.
That was just really good. And my voice is going to be really worn out tomorrow. Oh, but it was so good.
I mean, this is the sort of thing that, like, I just keep reaching back for when it comes to gaming. How it allows you to be pulled into a story in a way that I just don't think other media can pull off. Not at this length, not at this depth, not at this feeling of agency. It's just well written. I mean, that's a big piece of this, especially more than anything. It's just the writing is just so good in this. And I think, we've touched on this a couple of times already, but this is absolutely a game that I think fits the moment very well, for better or worse. A game about broken people finding themselves in a broken world, trying to survive, thrive, run, escape, make friends, build family, establish new lives built on the structures of old. It's just good. I think it's something that I really want to see more people play. It's just so good. Visual novel type games, and I will admit, yeah, this game is more visual novel than it is necessarily a game. But the game, I think, is compelling enough that it carries it along, and it has enough sort of it keeps you engaged enough. And there were bits, I mean, I don't know about you, but when we were like trying to save Flint, I thought my brain was like firing on 30,000 synapses, trying to be like, what do I do? What do I do? How do I get out of this? What do I do? And what I love about games like this, and again, I mentioned this on a previous stream too, is that there is no save scumming in this game, right? Much like a good tabletop RPG and how it can kind of change things for you. There is no backing down from a decision made. And I really, really like that.
that you have to commit and you have to keep going and you have to find your way despite all of it. And admittedly, I don't think I really had any major, in this playthrough, I didn't have any major wild story beats that I kind of ignored. The only one was his name Eugen, who I just didn't trust very well. He just seemed like a big old jerk, and I didn't want him along for the ride. But beyond him, I mean, I think the game did a great job of, even when I failed, still managing to pull me up and keep me going. And that, I think, is just, again, a good play of just like that perseverance. The game knows how to kind of stress you out just enough to make everything feel like it matters. So that when you do just manage to squeak by or scrape through, you're like, yeah, you're like, I committed, I was scrappy, you know? Now, that said, I didn't have exactly a hard time playing this. If you guys noticed, I had a billion, or like over 1,000 cryo, and I had every bit of material that I needed. I was never hungry in this game, unnecessarily. But yeah, I mean, this is a good place to start for 2025. I think this is the first game we're playing in 2025 that came out in 2025. And I mean, so far it is absolutely going to be my game of the year, barring something else swinging in to take its place, which is totally possible. I have no idea what else is coming out here, but they set the bar high. I'm just going to say it. It was magical. It was just a magical time. I really enjoyed it. I hope some of you out there, if you've only seen parts of this playthrough, that you decide to try to take this yourself, because it is so good. And the first game, too. The first game, the main base game, is really good, albeit way shorter than this. And it also has expansions, DLCs that I've not yet touched, and I will absolutely go back, because I think a lot of the characters that we met along the way here in 2 are tangled up in the events of the DLCs from Citizen Sleeper 1. So I will definitely take the opportunity to go through those at some point. What I know, I don't believe there's a Citizen Sleeper 3 that's going to come out. However, I do believe that the writer of this game is planning on making an actual tabletop game out of this. So I think that'd be a very cool like module to learn and how to build off of, because I mean, the systems are really cool in place already, and I do want to see where this thing goes. But yeah. The travel was really, like, because again, the first game was all about just being on one station, and instead of, having like 5 options on a station or like 2 storylines, it was all of them. And that was cool. But I really liked, especially kind of the sort of always having to run and can never stay in one place for too long for most of the gameplay, that I thought was really cool. I thought that was like a really awesome setup to be like, all right, we can stop here for a couple of days, but then we got to keep moving because he's right on our heels. We just gotta keep jumping and jumping and jumping. Like that level of underlying tension through it all just makes everything feel more valuable, which I really like. I get stuck in games sometimes where I have a challenge before me, but I have unlimited time to do it. And that sometimes makes me feel like I don't have any stakes involved, that it's just a matter of time before I do it. That's why I gravitate towards like the Persona games and stuff like this as much as I do, because it makes me feel like my actions have real weight to them and consequence. And that is stuff that I very much enjoy. And again, if it means that I can learn more about fantastical characters that I want to engage with and learn more about their lives and build characters ourselves within that space, it's exactly where I want to be in gaming. And I'm so glad that I keep being well fed as time goes on. So, yeah.